The Football League trophy, 2000 at Wembley, albeit in defeat, and then 2003 actually lifting the trophy. Special days for you?
Special days because walking out at the old Wembley, that's the one time in my career that I've had jelly legs. That wasn't in the game, but the not even the warm-up before, when we were in our tracksuits and we came out to look at the pitch. Just the whole place, the old stadium, surroundings a lot, just legs went. And it was just something special, and you knew the place was a special place. And to have said that I've played there is something that go down. When you're growing up and you're watching FA Cup finals on that Wembley, and to think that, just imagine what it would be like to play there, to actually do it. Again, it was another dream and something that was very special. But the day wasn't, obviously. Bad memories myself with fouling the lad and then complaining with the ref, and they took a quick free kick and so on. But again, that's all stuff you've learnt from, and hopefully I didn't make that mistake again.
What about in Cardiff in front of 40,000 fans and beating Carlisle?
And again, that one, driving over the short trip from Bristol to Cardiff and seeing all the fans and the flags, and it's just a great day out. That competition, I think at the start you don't probably, you don't go into it fully committed that you're gonna win it. You don't always play your best side, and you play young lads and so on and so on. But once you get to that semi-final, final stage, it is just a great day out for the players, fans, and club. And to have 40,000 up there again, I think shows you the support that we have got. And again, not the greatest of games, but is one of my only 3 shirts is up in frame with a medal. So at the end of the day, it is all. Like I said, great memories and excellent days for the football club.
And that was under the Danny Wilson era, the success within it, because there was the playoff defeat against Cardiff and then the playoff final defeat against Brighton. But that team was something special, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's my. I got two sort of eras, favourite times I've had in football, and that was by far in the top 2. The top 2 that I've got, my favourite times in football that I've enjoyed the most. That was definitely one of them. It was, especially the last 2 years of Danny Wilson's reign was, my favourite playing time in football. It was football that we liked playing. It was excellent. It was on the floor. We scored a lot of goals. We had a great bunch of lads. Probably in the end, when I look back now, socialised too much, too often, and that was probably where we didn't quite have the balance of getting things, right. Whereas further on in my career under Gary Johnson, we had the balance right. But I think that was the only downfall of that era. Like I said, the bunch of lads I played with were just, it's probably the only group that I keep in touch with now all the time. And still meet up a lot. And like I said, the level of football we were playing was excellent, and it was just a real shame that we couldn't finish it off with a promotion for Danny Wilson back then. But all in all, that was great times in football.
Coventry City after that. Any niggling, small regrets at the back of your mind?
No, there were probably personal reasons why it didn't quite work out there. But all in all, great level of football. Excellent football club. People were great. Lived in a nice area when I was up there. Didn't really have too much to complain about, but there was there was personal things going on at the time, and also when you've been at Bristol for so long. And I genuinely, and this was the honest truth at the time, when I was putting the kit on and walking out, I didn't have that same buzz and that same fire, and I knew that something wasn't quite right. But all in all, yeah, another an excellent, great experience.
Brian's and you brought you back here, didn't he? And then you went on to the Gary Johnson era. Was that your other favourite moments?
Yeah, definitely, because again, the football was good. The never say die attitude that we had, the team spirit and the togetherness, was unbelievable. I haven't ever had that here before, where you could be 2-3-0 down and know that you're going to go out second half and win the game. It was just a weird feeling that we all had. We were never, the gaffer would give us a telling off in the dressing room, but lads deep down knew that we'd go out and win the game second half. It was just an excellent time. Like I said, training was excellent. The gaffer's enthusiasm at the time and so on was brilliant, and that rubbed off on the lads, and we had a real togetherness there that since then probably has slightly declined. So yeah, that was my second favourite time in football, best time in football.
Yeah, the promotion went right to the last day on that occasion, but I suppose it made it extra special here at Ashton Gate, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Under Danny Wilson, we had a couple of those and missed out on the last day and stuff, and had to go through the playoffs. And it was our faults that put ourselves in that position. We should have maybe cleaned it up and finished it off a little bit earlier. But to put it down to the last day and knowing we had to beat Rotherham here, who had just been relegated the week before, and the fans all turning up, and first time to get out of the league in 9 years, and so on and so on. It was it was a real emotional day, and my family came down for a meal that day, and we're in the suite upstairs having the food and the tour around the ground and everything, and I was at home on my own, and I was getting really emotional that morning, and then driving in emotional, and I just deep down couldn't wait for the game to start to concentrate on something else rather than worrying about getting the club promoted. But the scenes after, I think, showed what it meant to everybody.
The following season, what that team achieved was probably even better than the previous season, even if you failed at the final hurdle.
Yeah, I've always said it was, and part of that was down to team spirit. We had a decent side that got promoted. It wasn't the best side I'd played in, and then we added 4 or 5 players who that season, Darren Byfield scored the goals that got us there. Trun's a little bit of flair, and then you had people like Marv who just had an unbelievable season that year, and McIndoe was a player that got us up the pitch, to relieve pressure at times, and that was what we needed in that league. But I think again the amount of late goals and the lack of goals we conceded were, and again the togetherness that created all that was a reason why we got to the playoff final. I've had regrets in the past, maybe about the Brighton game. I didn't think we played, not personal regrets, but we didn't play to our potential, and we lost. But I felt in the whole game, I didn't think we could have done too much more apart from score. It was an unbelievable strike, and it won it for Hull, and we had the injury at the time that unsettled us quite early on. But in general, I thought we did enough to win the game.
As a Bristolian, leading your team out that day, what was it like?
Again, I think I've said in the past, that was probably the highlight of my career then, being at the new Wembley, and just leading your local city out, with the armband round, all lads walking out behind you, and seeing the fireworks go up and the flares, and then seeing the crowd and seeing your family in the crowd, and the noise, and just the occasion, and what it all meant and everything, and the chance of leading your team out and lifting that trophy to get you into the Premier League is just it is what kids just dream of. And I had the opportunity to do that. I went up the stairs the day before and tried visualising it. Unfortunately, it didn't work, but who's to say it won't in the future? But yeah, that was I think probably deep down that would be the highlight of my career.
And the fact that team stayed in the Championship for a number of years after that as well, didn't it? Under Carey and then future managers.
It did, yeah. I think we tried tweaking a few things and bringing people in, and the club maybe at times have learnt from that we overspent and weren't in a position to do it. And since that playoff final, it has, like I said, been a steady decline. Hopefully, hopefully there's been a stop put to that now, and we've cleared the decks with wages and so on and so on. Hopefully next season now we can get back there.